Joshua Cribbs turns disaster into a score!
Ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
Washed it down with 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary. And I said, Stone Cold, why have one when you can have them both?
Swung in and drilled! Deep right center! Away back! Gone for Tony!
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up.
It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton?
Awful.
How is she awful?
Hates freedom.
And now, Any Given Podcast with your hosts, Brendan Ward and Ethan Simpson.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup! Oh, blocked by James! LeBron James with the rejection!
Hello, everybody, and welcome back into Any Given Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brendan Ward, sitting across the internet from my main man,
Ethan Simpson, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Ethan. How about yourself?
Pretty good, can't complain.
I mean, I would say so for somebody only an hour away from the 25th, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 25th.
Good old, quarter of a century.
Quarter of a century, yeah. Actually, earlier I was like, he's 25, right? He's going to be 25, right? Because I had to do the math. I was like, I just turned 26, but I think I got him by a year. But yeah, I'd say you're doing pretty good. Another reason we're both doing pretty good is probably because we both own this shirt right here. Let me get it in the frame. The numbers don't lie. Any Given Podcast t-shirt.
Got to bring it over a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying. It's like folded over. See?
Every time I do it, people are like, why can't you get it in the screen right? It's so hard when everything's backwards.
Man, it's backwards. I literally, while we were sitting here earlier, I was sitting here playing with my hands, and that might sound a little weird, but I was literally like, all right, right hand is for when I want to point left. Left hand is for when I want to point right. I was like, so all right, if I need to point at Ethan or the middle of the screen, got to go with the right hand. I was literally coaching myself up before the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got to go left hand.
Yes.
I got to remember that at the end because
we pass it to each other.
Yeah.
But the numbers don't lie, shirts. We got to get back to that before we get into like a little left hand, right hand. Yeah, we know the difference. It's just backwards. So the numbers don't lie short. Get yours now. Where can they get them, Ethan?
You can find the Numbers Don't Lie shirts at KentStagePosters.com. That is KentStagePosters.com. And that is the Numbers Don't Lie shirt. The B is a 6. It is orange. I mean, you guys should already get it by now. We're not going to name names. We don't have NFLPA clearance. That's why there's no names on it, but it's just the number 6. So
yeah, we run a Cleveland podcast. If you don't get it by now, tough shit, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It lets, but you know, KentStagePosters.com, as he said right here, as I use my right hand to point at the middle of the screen, like I said. But we're going to go ahead and get right on into it. Football season is right around the corner. When we say that, we can also say people are reporting to training camp. Browns rookies reported on Saturday. The team did ink their remaining 2 rookies on Saturday to their first deals. Greg Newsome II, their first-round pick number 26, did sign a 4-year deal. Obviously, as a first-round pick, the Browns do have that 5th-year option. I don't know the exact numbers on that. Normally, it's like hearsay. Most of the draft picks are slotted into certain amounts that they can make. The other one that they signed, Anthony Schwartz, 3rd-round pick 91, if you want to be exact. A guy I'm really excited about because he's very Tyreek Hill-esque, is what I'm going to call it, because he's that guy. He's that guy that's going to burn everybody on the field. In fact, Madden has already put him as the third fastest wide receiver in the NFL, and he hasn't played a snap of professional football yet. So that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, they list him at 93, which I would love to see that 93 at punt and kick returner. You would probably see flashes of Josh Cribbs with that kind of speed and agility. I don't know if you can match Josh Cribbs, his agility out there running the ball. That was just absolutely insane. Josh Cribbs was a once in a generation. I mean, a lot of people say Devin Hester, but I would take Josh Cribbs over Devin Hester any day, and that's not just me being a homer. That's me being a football fan.
It's hard to match the GOAT, bro.
Yeah.
It's hard to, I'll give you the argument for Devin Hester. I'll give people the argument for Devin Hester. The numbers are there. But Josh Cribbs is one of the greatest of all time at returning the ball. So I got where you were going there. But yeah, that's probably where you'll see Anthony Schwartz the most, considering you've got a wide receiver crew right now of Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Rashard Higgins, Kadero Hodge, Donovan Peoples-Jones, who we both believe could catapult him into that third spot, or even second or first, depending on what Odell is coming back from the injury. Seems like he's good. The other day at his mini camp, his children's camp, looked good, sounded good. Kudos to Darryl Ryder for getting the quote where Odell says something like, this Browns team, there's just something special about it. And it truly does feel like that. I was thinking about it the other day. It feels like we're right now in October of 2015. And if you remember back to October of 2015, the Cavs had just started a new campaign after LeBron took the Warriors to 6 games with no Kyrie Irving, no Kevin Love. And we were ready to run that back. The excitement around this Browns team, to me, is similar to that, if I'd say so. It's just, we know what this team can be. We were just very scared that it might not happen. I won't even say scared, very skeptical, as both of us being pretty long-time Browns fans. You for life mostly, but I do have allegiances to other teams. So, but it's still like this Browns team has me even as an outsider, not necessarily an outsider because I love the Browns, but has me thinking, oh man, here we go.
Yeah. I mean, granted, last year was a great year. The year before that, everybody was way too hyped up on the Browns. I get it. The first drive against the Tennessee Titans in 2019 it was like, oh shit, here we go. And then the rest of the game and most of the season kind of went down from there. But last season showed what true leadership and having a stable foundation and an actual head coach. I'm not taking anything away from Freddie Kitchens on his offensive skills and what he does, as an assistant coach or an offensive coordinator or a quarterback coach, whatever. I'm just saying, as a fan and seeing actual leadership and somebody that Baker and the team can rally around, that was just a shine of hope. And we almost went to the AFC Championship if it wasn't for a couple blown calls. So we were that close to tasting our first Super Bowl ever. That's how crazy that was. So yes, Browns fans, be excited. We have that hope. We have that hope right here. And I said it a lot last season, but I think it's going to be different this year with Odell coming back. It sounds like he's changed his way. Instead of like you said with the Darryl Ryder interview, instead of him wanting the catches and the yards and the touchdowns, all he wants to do is win games.
Yeah.
So maybe he's going to maybe tearing his ACL and having to go through surgery and all the rehabilitation and whatnot has chopped his ego tree down a little bit.
The biggest enemy of hunger is ego, and I agree with you, and it doesn't make for great radio when we sit here and agree with each other, and I'm sure we'll disagree on some stuff later in the show, but right now I 100% agree with you. If his ego got knocked back, I think that's only something that's great for the Browns. And obviously, you want somebody like Odell Beckham Jr. to have some sort of ego. Those star guys need the ego. They need the confidence to be like, yeah, I'm better than you. It's just it's the name of the game. It's the competitive nature of man. I'm just very, very excited. Another thing that's very exciting, I think, was the new uniforms that were unveiled on Saturday. The all white, clean, the numbers, the white stripe on the helmet with the brown numbers on the helmet, the gray face mask. For me, I wrote in here, fire or not. Without a doubt, they're fire to me. Honestly, you could take those and put them in as that white, as the permanent white jersey if you wanted. Although I do like the current Browns white jersey, I just really like these jerseys for some reason.
Yeah, I like them. I like the helmets a lot. Speaking of Josh Cribbs, I remember when they used to wear those helmets. They still had the brown stripe on them, but when they had the numbers on the sides,
yeah,
I remember when they wore those. What was that? Late 2000s, mid to late 2000s.
It had to be.
Yeah, those were still fire. Cribbs was still running back almost every single ball he touched on a kicker and punt return. But the only thing is, I don't know if I'd like the shadow drop being that dramatic on the jersey.
I get it.
If it seems a little too far out. If they would have brought it in a little more, then I would have said fire, keep them. But it's just kind of, it's way too far out. It reminds me of the jerseys they used to have that thank God they got rid of. That the Haslams, for some reason, got.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, you could probably cut that shadow drop in half, and the jersey would be just that much sweeter. It's already pretty close to Chef's Kiss, but you cut that drop shadow in half, like you said, it would 100% be everything you want in a Chef's Kiss to steal your thunder there. That's kind of what's happening with the Browns. Not much. Oh, we didn't talk about it, but rookie linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah was put on the reserve/COVID list on Sunday. That means that he has either tested positive or has been deemed a close contact. He did tweet out today or earlier, I'll say, that he is asymptomatic, feels fine, has nothing really, he don't know what's going on. Now, we're still kind of in the dark on whether or not he tested positive or he just was a close contact, but that's just something to look about. He may miss preseason game 1 if he's out for that full 2 weeks. But other than that, that's kind of all that's going on with the Browns. Veterans report to camp Tuesday, and we're off and rolling. Time for 2021. Less than 45 days now. So the start of the season, Cowboys, Buccaneers kicking off the season. We're like a week away from the Hall of Fame game. Get excited. I just grabbed 4 free tickets to the Brown and Orange scrimmage next Sunday. I'm excited for. I'm going to try to get to go to that. But I figured if they're free, I might as well grab them anyways. You know what I'm saying? So just big there. Other big news in the NFL. I wrote on here that Aaron Rodgers is still expected to be a no-show. That obviously switched up on us a couple hours before the show here. Adam Schefter is reporting that Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay are expected to strike a deal that would bring him back for this year and then allow Aaron to choose his destination of choice to be playing beyond that. So I think the biggest thing with Aaron is Green Bay was probably saying something this year like, we're going to send you where we feel like sending you. And then Aaron was just like, no, I'll play for you guys this year as long as you let me go where I want.
Yeah, that makes sense. Him and Adams both posted the picture of Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan last dance a few days ago. Everybody was speculating on that they were going to do their last dance in Green Bay. Once Green Bay got the deal with Rodgers working, then Adams was like, all right. Then they started it with Adams. I think they're going to give him the same kind of deal. Let's see if it's going to be the last dance.
Well, I don't know if you saw Trey Ringo tweeted out something that Rodgers reportedly wants the Packers to bring in Randall Cobb as well.
Oh yeah,
which is like, I mean, all right, I guess he could be like a role player, but I'm still a bigger fan of the other guys they have. I like Alan Lazard. I like Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And I think they're going to contribute more than a Randall Cobb would on that team. I mean, aside from the fact that they have the rapport with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why I keep calling him just Aaron. That's weird to me. Just a little bit. Aaron. Like, Aaron's such a...
You guys good friends?
Right? Like, I'm calling him like I know him on a first name basis. Like we go play golf at the local club down the street or something together. Like, no, his name is Aaron Rodgers, Brendan, and get it right, or just call him Rodgers because that's what you do in football. Like, I have to teach myself. But other dramatic quarterback news: DeShaun Watson, who has been pretty adamant since the end of last season that he is done with the Houston Texans and will not play there, had all of the lawsuits come about earlier this year, dealing with the sexual assault allegations and civil lawsuits, but ran through Tony Busby's firm against him. Now up to 24 total civil lawsuits, a couple criminal. Houston PD hasn't really said anything. I said a long time ago, I thought silence. The best thing for DeShaun Watson at the time would be radio silence on the whole situation. And that's really what we've gotten. It really didn't come about until the other day, Friday to be exact, that it came out that DeShaun Watson is showing up. Now he might only be showing up because he was subject to $50,000 a day, which would make me show up. That's a whole year for one of us, maybe even two. So that's one thing. So I guess what I'm asking is what happens with DeShaun here? Is he just gonna show up and then get immediately put on Goodell's exempt list, or is Houston gonna be able to trade him to a team that now that they've said that they're expressing that they are willing to trade him, but the cost is at least 3 first-round picks and 2 additional mid to late round picks?
Yeah, you think Goodell would have said so? That's such a weird thing that you brought that up. Wouldn't he have just said something if he was going to suspend him? Prior to that, like they would have said something when the investigation was going on. Like, okay, well he's being investigated. So far, he's going to have a 3-game suspension that can be, they can go and debate it. I don't know, but I think the 3. But they say, like you said, 3 first-round picks and a starter is what they're asking for him.
They said, I mean, I'm sure they would take a starter instead of the 2 mid-round picks, but they said at least 3 first-rounders and 2 mid to late-round picks, which is it's banana land. But we've seen it happen. We've seen the Redskins do it to get Robert Griffin III. So DeShaun Watson is obviously a lot more proven than RG3 was at that time. Argue right now, if he shows up, he's the best quarterback in that division, without a doubt. Top 5 quarterback in the NFL, maybe. That you could argue that you could argue a couple people maybe above him, but still a top 10 quarterback without a doubt. So there's that. The speculation is, what in the hell is going on? Because if he really did these things, you can't let this cat play football again. You just can't. It's a bad look.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what are you gonna do with all those? Like how to keep them away from them?
Say that again?
I said, yeah, especially if it is true and it comes out true. What are you going to do? How are you going to keep the personal trainers and the masseuses and the massage therapists that are with the team away from them?
Well, exactly. Like there's just so much that goes into it. I feel like he needed to go on that exempt list. The only thing I could really call back to that's similar to this is the Ezekiel Elliott situation a couple years ago in Dallas. The difference is Zeke was one person. There was evidence that she had set him up.
Mm.
Criminal charges were not filed on Ezekiel Elliott. Everything points to the fact that nothing happened with Ezekiel Elliott. So everything seemed cut and dry, but Goodell really still waited a year to suspend him.
Yeah. That's the one thing about... I think every single sports fan can agree on Roger Goodell. He's a clown, obviously, like Barstool has famously made that shirt and the flag and everything like that. Goodell's a clown. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He was tossed into the ring, just kind of willy-nilly. Yeah. If I was DeShaun Watson and his lawyers and the NFLPA and nothing comes of it, and then they try to bring a suspension and everything, kind of like what you said with Ezekiel Elliott, then yeah, lawsuit, definitely.
It's such a situation where I feel like so much could just be solved by putting him on the exempt list. Hey, you're not allowed to play right now because we don't know what the hell is going on. It's just that simple. We can't let you play right now because you are either innocent and are being accused of some of the most egregious things we've ever seen come through from an NFL football player, or you're guilty and you probably should go to prison.
Yeah, because I mean, if those allegations are true and how many women came out and what he was doing, that's yeah.
I don't care how good you could throw a football. If you did what DeShaun Watson is accused of, straight out of Parks and Recs, straight to jail. Like,
yeah, maybe he needs to call up a lawyer from Pittsburgh.
I mean, they got the best apparently.
Right.
But kind of moving on from that because it's kind of sad and it's a situation that's developing. It's just kind of in the news right now because DeShaun was showing up so he can get the necessary tests he needed to be able to practice. And yeah, we're getting to it. But the last thing in the NFL, they released new COVID protocol guidelines for the upcoming season. The first being that $14.6 thousand will be fined to unvaccinated players who break that protocol. And then teams that have an outbreak of COVID-19 that results in a game being canceled and then that game not being able to be rescheduled within the 18-game regular season will be subject to forfeit of the team. The team that had the outbreak will be subject to forfeit. But every single player and coach and staff member that was supposed to participate in the canceled game will not receive a check. So that means if the Browns are scheduled to play the Steelers and the Steelers have a COVID outbreak that cancels that game, they play them at the end of the year, so it's highly unlikely that they're going to be able to reschedule it. The Browns would get the win, which would be good for playoff seeding and stuff like that. But there's going to be a lot of guys, 53 to be exact, players and numerous coaches and staff members that aren't going to receive a check just because the Steelers would have had an outbreak. And that's the best way I can explain it. And it's just wild. I know, like, this thing isn't over. DeAndre Hopkins tweeted that he was ready to leave the NFL. He was done. And then he deleted it. And then he replaced it with just freedom ? So there's a lot. Obviously, Cole Beasley has been pretty outspoken, but unfortunately, Cole's just not using the right arguments. He's just not. And he deserves to be looked at as a clown. By all means, I'm here to say it. I'm not getting the damn shot. But then again, I've got my reasoning. I'll give you I don't know if the science is right yet. I don't know what all of this stuff and all of this, and I don't know enough about it to go get it myself. Cole Beasley's just like, well, are they gonna open a foundation for me if I get it? Like, no. Also, your employer's telling you to get it. So if they make that mandatory, I don't know what to tell you. Just don't play football, I guess.
Here's the thing about the vaccine. How many fully vaccinated people are right now in quarantine because they have caught COVID-19? It's such a weird, sketchy thing. I think they pumped out the vaccine before all of the data was in there. What was it? Johnson and Johnson, like 3 of their different vaccines have been 2 of them have been recalled. I mean, Johnson and Johnson, they've been sued because their talcum powder caused ovarian cancer. I mean, You're gonna trust these guys to shoot something straight in your bloodstream when you can't even use baby powder when you're a woman?
Yeah,
because it causes ovarian cancer. Like, come on. And look, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I know people that have gotten the vaccine. I know people that haven't gotten the vaccine. And I understand both ways that people think. Okay. And now I know Dr. Fauci and everybody else is out there saying that now vaccinated people need to wear masks after they said they said, if you're vaccinated, wear masks because you could still carry it. And then they said, you're fine. You don't need to wear masks. And now they're saying wear masks again. They change it up every other day. And, there might be some listeners that think I'm a complete idiot and I'm, some anti-vaxxer, some flat earth guy. I'm not. I'm just saying. The proof is in the pudding right there. I mean, all I'm saying is I'm not getting it. Cole Beasley, what he was saying, like you said, is he going to get a foundation named after him? That's stupid. But what Hopkins was saying, like, you know what, like, am I going to retire now if I'm forced to get this? A lot of people don't want to get it because a lot of people don't trust the government, which is understandable.
Well, for me, it doesn't even have to do with government, and kind of just to kind of end it, because we don't need to ramble on about vaccines, man. We definitely need to get into the next topic. So for me, it's not even about the government. You said it. You can't give me a definitive 100%. Hey, if you get stabbed in the arm right now, COVID's done for you. You can't give that to me. What's the fucking point? Exactly. Sorry to drop the F-bomb, but if you can't 100% be like, hey, take this vaccination, you don't have to worry about COVID, what's the point? Because now, like you said, I'm hearing more about vaccinated motherfuckers getting the COVID more than I am about people like you and me walking around doing everyday life unvaccinated getting it. So just to kind of like that's where I'm at with that. If the NFL mandates it, I can't really say anything. Private enterprise, they pay people millions of dollars. If they're gonna be like, hey, get it or we're not paying you millions of dollars, I can't really be the one that's like, I mean, I could trash it. I could come on here on our platform and be like, yeah, F that. That's dumb. Why would they do that? But if it happens, you get paid millions of dollars to fall in line.
That is true. And if you feel the need to get the vaccine to make yourself feel safer, go do it. Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you to, run your life and whatnot. If you have to do it for work, or if you want to feel safer, if you work at say like a nursing home or something like that, or you live with your grandparents, you're taking care of your grandparents or something, and you feel that you need to get the vaccine, go for it. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just telling you from what I have read and stuff like that, and the indecisiveness with the government, like wear a mask. Oh no, you don't need to. Oh no, you do. Oh, double it up. Oh no, you're fine. Okay, no, you're fine. Oh, you can go to restaurants. Oh, now there's over 6,000 cases in America a day of vaccinated people getting COVID or whatever the number is.
Yeah, and
whatever. Hey.
Really, you're talking to freedom of choice guys here. And speaking of freedom of choice, or lack thereof, if you want to say so, the Cleveland Baseball Organization announced Friday, after one of the worst media rollouts I've ever seen, that they will now be known as the Cleveland Guardians, effective after this 2021 season. Your thoughts?
I wish I had a sound button. You know how like radio shows have that?
Yeah.
Or like a toilet flush.
I've always wanted to. I feel like lately I've been wanting to invest in one of those sound bars so we could have those kind of drops like that. But yeah, so the Guardians. You talked last week about how that probably should be the name, the Guardians of Traffic, up there, those statues. You were a fan of the name last week. I'm not. I never really was. You were.
Let me double back on that. I wasn't a fan of it. I said that was the best choice.
Yeah.
If they decide to go with it.
Exactly. You didn't want the name to change. You didn't want the name to change. It was the lesser of a bunch of evils.
Yeah. That's like saying, how do you want to die? You know? And it's like, well, you could get eaten by a shark, you could get stabbed to death, you could get shot, you could get caught on fire, you could be hung. It's like, my hands are behind my back. You're drawing straws there.
I didn't like it just because I thought it was a real minor league name. And the logo, and we'll get into that now, the logo that they rolled out only made it even more minor league to me. There's spoofs already of throwing on the shades and the mohawk for Major League, which I guess is all right. But if you start adding the tail feathers from Chief Wahoo down there at the back of the logo, then we're back to square one. You know what I'm saying? What even happened? We just got 2 G's and a baseball now. So here we are, and my uncle, and I'll shout him out. He said kudos to my 4-year-old for winning the logo decoration contest, and essentially that's what happened. I'm not even good at Photoshop, and I'm 100% sure I could go in there right now and create a Guardians logo that's better than the one they created on Microsoft Paint.
I mean, Brendan, how many logos have I designed? And I'm just looking at a couple. I could have made better ones. I mean, seriously. And I just want to clarify this right now. Before I say this is not an official GV Art shirt. This was like $15 on the side of the road in front of Progressive Field a couple years ago. And it was bought for me. So I'm sorry, GV Art. This was bought for me. It was a present. Somebody gave it to me. I'm sorry, it's not the official one. But you got people like GV Art that work with the Cleveland organization that make, promos to give away. And you have these great graphic designers right there that you already work with, and you can't even talk to them about creating a logo. Like you said, you just have Microsoft Paint or like a clip art thing. I could have drawn that in 2 seconds.
It looks, if there wasn't a baseball in the logo, it looks like every generic track and field logo I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I would think that was like Garrettsville or or Garfield, something like that.
Garrett's Field track and field, Garfield cross country, something like that. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the shoe with the wings on the back, and that's kind of where we're at. They didn't make it any better with the font of Cleveland or Script Guardians. I guess might be all right if they fix that G. But why did it have to be pointed? Why couldn't it be the same font? Like, if we're going to roll out the same jerseys, just give me Cleveland again. Just give me the blue jersey with Cleveland and a better logo on the arm. Where Wahoo used to be.
I think they made it pointed because the top of the Guardian statue was pointed.
I mean, I'm sure, like, that's probably what it is. And I'm sure you're probably right. It's just, like, it's lazy to me. It seems like they didn't want this to come out yet. That story came out on Thursday that the Indians had picked a new name, but they aren't ready to roll it out yet. And then all of a sudden, Friday at 9 a.m., hey, we're the Cleveland Guardians. Like, they had one of their interns throw together a video real quick and like, hey, this is what we're going with.
Yeah, I'm so over it. There's so much I want to say. It's disappointing, and like you said last week, what I was trying to say was that's the best that they can do. I personally like the Cleveland Coyotes or something like that, or the Cleveland Shalers, because the shale rock in Lake Erie is where they discovered all those prehistoric animals. It goes with the Natural History Museum. I might be like a natural history nerd. I love that place, but that's what I wanted, something like that, like like the Shalers or something like that, with like the prehistoric giant fish that they found. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and
you might have.
And I'm kind of with you. I wanted something that was completely out of left field. You know what I'm saying? I heard Guardians, I heard Spiders, I heard Naps, I heard Buckeyes, and I get the history behind Naps and Buckeyes, or what was it, the Blue Sox? And I know the history behind that as well. But like, why couldn't we just go with something like wild? Like you said, Coyotes would have been fun. Just like, could you imagine a coyote instead of that GG wing logo? Like, it looks like the Double Dare logo with a baseball.
Yeah, might as well just call them the Cleveland Goodyears if that's what you were going for. Like you said, it looks like the polo shoe with the wings on it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I feel like they almost just called up a minor league team, if I'm being honest. And unfortunately, that's kind of how they've been playing this year with Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, it's not looking too good. I mean, they're like hanging in there, but it's like they're playing wild card ball.
I mean, that's impressive to me, though, considering their top three pitching starters have been out. Franmil Reyes has only been back a couple weeks, and Jose Ramirez has just been himself. My last question on Guardians is, do you think they have to sign one of these guys for this to work?
Yeah, I mean, like re-sign these guys at the end of the year to a larger contract.
I'm saying, can the Guardians succeed if in 5 years neither Shane Bieber or Jose Ramirez are on the team?
Yeah, I mean, we have a pretty great farm system. So, yeah, I think we will. I mean, everybody thought that, once they got rid of Kluber, everything was going to go downhill, and then Shane Bieber popped up, and everybody's like, oh, shit, Shane Bieber's better than Kluber. Like, nobody thought anybody could be better than Kluber, because Kluber was putting up Bob Feller numbers. And now, Shane Bieber's putting up better numbers than Kluber, and he's about to break all the Feller records in what, two and a half seasons?
I mean,
3 seasons.
I mean, Kluber's got a no-hitter this year, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, then he went straight to the IL.
I know.
Which, granted, Shane Bieber's on there, but Kluber has had a history of being on the IL.
There's no argument for me. Shane Bieber's the better pitcher. I just like giving you crap. And the only crap you could give about Kluber over Bieber now is Kluber's got the no-hitter this year. It was the most random no-hitter ever. And it was in a week where we had like 5 of them. And Kluber was just all of a sudden 2016 Kluber and was just tearing apart the Yankees at the time, and he just tore them apart, and I was just like, oh, I got the notification.
No, he plays for the Yankees.
Okay, so he plays for the Yankees. I got the notification, and it said, Kluber gets no-hitter. And I was like, do I not know this guy? Like, not Corey. Definitely not Corey. He ain't been nothing since 2018.
So, yeah, I mean, absolutely. But the one thing I wanted to say about the Shalers, the shale, something like that. Yeah. So that's because about 358 to 382 million years ago, the Dunkleosteus lived in a large amount of the Great Lakes, and on the Atlantic board, the seaboard. Now this thing was found in Cleveland, all right, in Lake Erie. I think it was actually found it was first discovered in shale rock in Bedford. So right around Cleveland, just take a bridge and you're downtown. So this thing, do you want me to give you a quick little history lesson, then we'll go on from there?
I mean, all we got left is basketball, bro. So yeah, we got time.
Okay. So this thing, all right, it is the largest and most well-known species that grew up to 28.8 feet long. All right. So that's the size of like the biggest great white.
That's like,
this thing is it's not a shark. It's a fish. But it grew up to 28.8 feet long and weighed up to 4 tons. All right. This thing lived in Lake Erie in the Great Lakes. Found in Cleveland. If you ever go to the Natural History Museum, they have a giant, a cast of its skull sitting there. Crazy. It didn't have teeth. Its teeth were bones, like it was a part of its skull. These 4 giant chompers that came out. Well, I'll send you a picture that you can pop up down at the bottom while I'm talking about this. So this thing had a biting force of 1,349 pounds. Just its biting force. And it, for it to open and close its jaw to snap something, would take about the same amount of time to blink your eye. That's how its jaw would go. So this thing is just a monster. It lived, like I said, in the Great Lakes, was found in Cleveland. Natural History Museum, they have all this stuff there. I don't know if you've ever been, Brendan, but that's what
I've been to like everyone but that one. Unfortunately.
Well,
not by choice.
We might have to do a show up there. We might see if we can get sit outside and do a show.
And thing's gonna haunt me.
What?
Just it's gonna be like in my dream tonight. It's gonna haunt me. A 40,000 pound fish that could bite me in a blink of an eye in half.
Oh yeah, I mean this thing was monster. I remember being a kid and swimming in Lake Erie, like going to Kelly's Island with my family and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd be out there swimming a little bit, and then I automatically think, like, I'd remember that, and I would just get right back to shore. Because Lake Erie is the deepest Great Lake, and who knows if that thing's still rolling around down there. I know they have all the salt mines down there, but they're not going to tell you if they see that thing rolling around.
Oh, yeah, not at all. You're going to get the hell out of there.
Right. I mean, jeez Louise.
I mean, I could imagine, bro. Like, I've encountered, like, water moccasins and stuff, and that's the reason I'm terrified of snakes. I couldn't imagine even thinking of encountering a 40,000 pound, because you said 4 tons. I couldn't even imagine encountering a 4-ton fish that's almost 30 foot long. I just think of something as wide as a whale, but that has the length of like one of the anacondas from the movie Anaconda. That's what it is, bro. It's got the width of a whale, and it's 30 foot long like an anaconda.
That's what I'm saying. Wouldn't that be like a badass logo instead of a G with the wings and a baseball? Just that thing's like, even the fossil picture would be awesome to have.
Oh, absolutely, something a little more vicious. Like I said, I can agree with you. Guardians of Traffic, right there. There's going to be multiple shots during the broadcast where we see the two statues outside of Progressive Field. It'll say Guardians on the field at on the baseball diamond right there with the crossed bats right there in the front. Just all sorts of different, like they're go with something a little more aggressive, I guess. And yours would have that one you just mentioned, Shaler's, would have been way more aggressive, and I could picture the logo in my head right now. Especially if it looks somewhat like a serpent, oh, you could have did so many things. Oh, if it looked somewhat like a snake, you could have had so much fun with the logo. In fact, like I even feel like the Diamondbacks kind of like fall short on their logo with so much they could do. I know they do the D with the rattlesnake, but still they could do so much more. Rattlesnakes are one of the strongest venom in the world, and you just made a D out of it. Make that thing scary and let's go. Actually,
I hate rattlesnakes.
I know, but remember when the D-backs you did the one that was like attacking on their their hats?
Yeah, I actually played for the Ravenna Vipers for a couple years. We had the same logo. They brought that back with the fangs holding the ball with the tie.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
They brought that back last year.
Could you imagine that fish you just told me about doing the same thing, coming out of the front of the hat? That'd be awesome. And so I agree with you here. You sold me. All 4 of the Cleveland Shalers. It might be. Might be hard to say, I guess, Cleveland Shalers, but it'd still be cool. And we can talk all this crap, but 2021, 2022 rolls around, and we're going to be fans of the Cleveland Guardians, and we're not really going to say anything because Cleveland is what matters. And kind of like they said in their video, Cleveland is the best part of the organization, and that's what we're here for. And if we get them to stay, and it seems like they're about to renew the release. It sucks that they're not going to be the Indians anymore, but we'll learn to live life.
Yeah, I'm not going to call them the Guardians. I'm still going to call them the Tribe and the Indians. That just it's going to be years. I mean, I didn't start calling it Progressive Field until probably like 2015. And now
people like us that talk about it all the time, it's going to be so hard.
I mean, it was a lot easier not calling them the football team, Washington.
I still call them the Skins all the time.
They could have just called themselves the Washington Skins and changed the logo to the W,
Yeah.
Because their logo their mascot is a pig. So they could be the pork skins.
Yeah. Exactly. I imagine like they might even take it in that direction. Call themselves the Pigskins. That's what a football is. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
just do something like real quick. Want to get into basketball? Trade deadline is this Friday. I think we both agree that we don't really see the Indians doing shit.
No, they said that they picked up that pitcher today off waivers from the Diamondbacks. Speaking of them, but yeah, that's pretty much all they've done.
And
they're going to be stagnant.
That's all you're really going to get from them is waiver pickups probably. I doubt they're going to send anybody out. I think they're kind of in a situation where they feel like they don't really know what they have as a team because they haven't really been a full team all year. And they're still kind of in the middle of the road. So they're probably doing the feeling out. But how about your Rays getting Nelson Cruz?
Yeah, I liked it until his first at bat. He had a home run against the Tribe. That wasn't too fun, but good for them. Good for them to pick up a power bat. They've never really had an established DH. They kind of switched around throughout different games with different, like Yi-Man Chu would be their DH one game, then he was at first base, and they would switch it around. So I think Nelson Cruz, he's there just to be the DH.
Yeah, and he's like 40, bro. So that's all they really can expect from him. But like you said, it's going to give him an everyday guy that can just go out and rake. And as you said, he did in his first at bat against the Indians. Because that was my first thought when I heard it. It said Rays trade for Nelson Cruz. I was like, immediately it went off. I was like, they're in Cleveland right freaking now. Like game one's about to start of this series. Like, and it's 3 or 4 games. So we're screwed. The rich get richer, I guess. But on the basketball, because we haven't got to talk about it yet, it kind of ended right after we ended last week's episode. Milwaukee Bucks end up winning the NBA Finals in 6 games. Impressive for Giannis and the Bucks to win 4 in a row to close out that series. Unfortunately, I guess I have to give you that Any Given Podcast may have jinxed the Phoenix Suns. I don't think we did. I think the Milwaukee Bucks might have just been the better team. Kudos to Giannis for getting his first Finals MVP. He is now like one of 2 players that have won MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, a championship, and Finals MVP all in the same year. The other being Michael Jordan. But I thought it was a good series, and we talked about this series or Phoenix going against Atlanta. In where we were in a situation where, sure, we're probably going to root for the Suns, but whoever won, we were going to be cool with. You know what I'm saying? Giannis winning his first title, doing it in Milwaukee, something we haven't seen happen in a while, where just a guy who grew up in the system ends up winning a title. And we can't even, like LeBron's Cleveland title don't even count as that because he left and came back. Giannis started with Milwaukee as some young kid who really wasn't that good. Still hasn't really developed a jump shot, but is now one of the best players in the NBA. He does what Kevin Durant can't do and leads a team to a title on his own.
Yeah, I mean, he played fantastic. I mean, in those, the 4 games, he played fantastic. I mean, he looked like the Giannis that won MVP, deserved Finals MVP, and he looked like a champion, and he played well. Played great. He was clowning around after the championship with the Larry O'Brien in the car, going to Chick-fil-A, asking for free food for life, which he'll probably get.
Oh, I'm sure. That'll come sometime in the coming months.
Yeah, but I mean, he played fantastic. That team really came back. I don't know. The Suns just look like they underestimated them, if that makes sense to you. So once they came back and they were like, the Suns were like, oh shit, we don't have a true big man. What are we going to do? And the Bucks took advantage of that, and they noticed that, and they adjusted their playbook and their playing strategy, and look what happened.
Yeah, kudos to Mike Budenholzer for making those adjustments, and it worked for him, and I like I said, we were in a situation, at least me personally, and I feel like you were too, where sure we were rooting for the Suns, but whoever won. It's not like there was heartbreak for either of us. And watching Game 6, it's not like when the final clock hit 0, I was as mad as I was in 15, 17, or 18 when those series ended. It's not going to happen. But international basketball is here now that the finals are over. Drew Holiday, who played with the Milwaukee Bucks winning the title, leads the team in their first game at the Tokyo Olympics. In that first game, the United States of America lost their first game in over a decade in tournament play to France. Who loses to France? I mean, there's so many jokes I could say about different wars and stuff like that. And I'll say this. Evan Fournier is a borderline should-be retired player in the NBA. He goes over for France, leads the team with 28 points on 50% shooting, and only had 2 free throws. So, and I'll get into like the bigger guys in a minute. Drew Holiday ends up leading the Team USA with 18 points. He just got done with a full 6-game series NBA Finals, full playoff run. Literally got on the plane the day after he gets the Larry O'Brien. Day after they hoist the Larry O'Brien in the parade in Milwaukee, and goes to this game and leads the team. No practice with the team, no nothing. Evan Fournier after the game says they're a group of great individuals, but they can be beat as a team. I'm here to say it's because they don't have a true leader.
Yeah, I would say that too. It's a bunch of guys. I mean, they have great players. Maybe not great players. They have very good players on that team, but they don't have a true leader. And Durant's not going to be that leader.
Durant. You want to get into Durant? Because I'll get into Durant. It's over. You got to. I'm done. Media members and anybody else that talks about basketball has got to stop telling me this guy is the best basketball player in the world. Man can score the ball. He can. I'll give him that. He's one of the best scorers I've ever seen. And I'm talking going through MJ highlights, going through all LeBron's highlights. Kevin Durant is probably the best scorer of the basketball I have ever seen. He's not the best basketball player in the world. Leadership is a very, very big quality in being the best basketball player in the world. If you can't lead a team on your own, you can't be the best basketball player in the world. And time after time after time, Kevin Durant proves to us that if it is on him and him alone, he can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, he had to go to the Warriors. He had Steven Adams and Deion Waiters, and on top of that, Russell Westbrook for how many years? Couldn't do it there. So he went to the Warriors, did it there, and then went to the Nets, couldn't do it there. And their whole big thing is they're plagued with injuries, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, a lot of teams are plagued with injuries. Look at what the Cavs did in 15. They were plagued with injuries. They still went to Game 6. And their 2 best guys outside of LeBron James was Matthew Dellavedova and Timothy Mozgov.
I don't want to even hear about injuries because for a decade, 9 straight years before he went to LA, LeBron ran through that same Eastern Conference in Miami, in Cleveland, and then when he went to LA was the first time he had missed the playoffs, missed the finals, I'll say, in a decade. So, and like you said, 2015 loses Kevin Love in the first round, still hobbles his way to the NBA Finals. 2016,
Right, game 1. Kyrie breaks his kneecap.
Yeah, and then he loses Kyrie in that series and still goes to 6 games against a team I could argue was way better. Because that Warriors team was very, very good, and unfortunately, now that we're not in the midst of it, you can look back and say that. Because the next year they do what they did. They win 73 games. They go down as the best regular season basketball team in NBA history, and then LeBron beats them coming back from 3-1 because he's got a fully healthy squad. And then 2017 happens, and little snake-ass Kevin Durant, who realizes he can't lead his own team, joins 3 other All-Stars and basically checkmates the entire league. Because how are you going to beat an NBA All-Star team at basketball? And then that's what they became. Sure, they had some role players, but those role players were Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala, 2 champions who Andre Iguodala was supposed to be the next LeBron. And if Sean Livingston never injures his leg the way he did, he was supposed to be great too. So there's that. Now he's on his own. I don't want to hear injuries with the Nets, because if LeBron was in that same situation in this East this year, the Cavs are in the NBA Finals. Probably win the NBA Finals. Even if we had the same team even if the Cavs had the same team they had in 2015 and still lose Kyrie and Kevin Love, that 2015 team wins the NBA Finals this year. And that's just like, so I'm sick of all these people telling me that Kevin Durant's the best player in the world, because he's just simply not. He's the best scorer of the basketball in the world. Sure, I'll give him that he's pretty clutch because he can shoot in primetime moments, but he is yet to show me in his decade-long career that he can lead a damn team on his own. And it's only showing even further because he's supposed to be the damn guy over in Tokyo leading this United States team to victory, and they might get bounced next week. Or this week. It's only Monday. It's only Monday.
I was talking with a couple of people today, and I was like, you know what? If Team USA loses to Iran in the next game, like, dude, just cancel it. Just cancel basketball in general. Like,
it's just so, like, it's embarrassing almost. Like, and stop giving me it's different internationally. How different, man? Because for years now, I've watched the USA go over there and steamroll everybody. But all of a sudden, because you guys have lost 3 of 5, it's different now.
Who knows, man?
In the same Olympics, I just watched Luka lead a very abysmal Slovenia team to a W with 118 points total. But you're telling me USA, that has Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, Draymond Green, all of these guys can only score 76 points?
Who knows, dude? It's these, to go back on the on Odo Beckham, it's the ego thing. They all have their egos. They all want to be the leader. They don't have somebody like Kobe. Like when Kobe was on the 08 team and the 12 team, Kobe was the leader of that team. Everybody knew that. If LeBron was on that team this year, then LeBron would be the leader, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man. Everybody wants to be the leader. It's like the me. It's kind of like with the Cavs. You got Garland, you got Sexton, all these young guys that, nobody knows who the leader is because everybody wants to be the leader. Nobody wants to pass the ball. That's what I think that the Team USA is doing.
Well, you'll know after next week who the Cavs leader is. It's either going to be Darius Garland, Ben Simmons, or whoever the hell they draft at number 3.
I really hope they don't get Ben Simmons.
I hope to God they don't trade for Ben Simmons, but they're rumored to. They're apparently one in the conversation. But, I mean, I actually think that Colin Sexton might make that Philadelphia team a lot better, though. Because they got a point guard that'll be able to shoot the ball. Ben Simmons, I mean, I guess he could be a floor general here in Cleveland, but I really pray that they do not go get Ben Simmons prior to the draft. Draft somebody at 3 or move up to 1 for Cade Cunningham. Or if somebody's offering you a ridiculous amount of stuff for your number 3 pick, considering the Pelicans just gave, or the Grizzlies just gave up like 5 people to get number 10, and they brought in Steven Adams.
My guy, Steven Adams.
The Grizzlies might be very, very good next year. They were already in the playoffs this year in that play-in tournament. They ended up winning the play-in tournament because they beat the Warriors. So yeah, the Grizzlies I think could be very good next year. And they just added Steven Adams, moved up to number 10, which I think means they now have 2 top 10 picks. So like the Grizzlies could be very, very scary next year. I like it. But that's all I got for basketball. You got anything else for them?
Yeah, so this day in sports history, we're going to change it up just a little bit. We're going to do this day in sports birthdays, July 27th.
All right.
Just because in about 7 minutes, it will be midnight, and I will be 25. So we are going to start it off with born July 27th, 1975, American MLB shortstop and third baseman, Alex Rodriguez.
All right. A-Rod.
Moving on from Alex Rodriguez. Oh, yeah, Alex Rodriguez. Moving on from there, we have born in 1988, July 27th, one quarterback, previously with the Miami Dolphins, now with the Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill.
Okay.
July 27th, 1993. American golfer, U.S. Masters, U.S. Open 2015, British Open 2017 winner. Born in Dallas, Texas, one Jordan Spieth.
Okay. I thought that's where you were going. I thought it was him or Patrick Reed.
And then, give me 1 second. I'm going to go for a second. I'm going to get a little bit away from sports, and I'm going to hop right back into sports. Born July 27th, 1922. My guy, Norman Lear. You might know Norman Lear as creating some of the greatest sitcoms in television history. All in the Family, Good Times, Sanford and Son.
Absolutely.
Some of my favorites.
Absolutely.
Some of my favorite sitcoms that I've watched. Norman Lear, fantastic. He is turning 99.
Okay.
Here in 5 minutes.
All right, man. Almost hitting the century mark. You're almost hitting the quarter. You're hitting the quarter of a century. He's almost hitting the century. There you go.
And then, so I have 2 more. July 27th, 1969, born in New Hampshire, standing at a whopping 6'4", Paul Michael Levesque, a.k.a. Triple H. Cue Ace of Spades real fast. And then to close it off. Give me 1 second. let me get into character. Born July 27th, 1961. He's an American football coach. He's won a national championship.
A1.
A national championship. He was born in LaRousse, Louisiana. And his favorite thing is to say, "Happy birthday, then go Tigers."
I knew that's where you were going.
Go Joe. And Oregon, go Joe. How you doing? Hold that Tiger. July 27th, 1961. I didn't know that until I looked this up earlier today. Go Tigers. Hold that Tiger. Go Tigers.
That's awesome. I knew. That's why I asked if it was 1. I thought you were going Saban, and then I was like, 1. I bet you it's Ed.
Go Tigers.
I bet you it's Ed.
My team fell to shit after Joe Burrow left me.
I mean, what'd you expect? That's kind of what LSU does. They get a good quarterback. They have one or two fantastic years, and then that's the LSU way.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. That happens to a lot of. That happens to Ohio State, and then they'll have this random, a filler.
I think that could happen to Ohio State this year. Like, I know a lot of people like the kid that's supposed to start for them this year, but I don't know. Like, I feel like Ohio State's going under the radar this year and relatively unknown.
Huh. Yeah.
But you got anything else for this day in sports history or this day in sports/birthday history?
Yes, I had one more. I apologize. It got deleted.
Oh, man.
I know that's on me, Coach.
All good. Not really that big of a deal.
I was talking to Coach O.
Yeah, you get in the character. You start getting a little too excited, and stuff tends to move on you.
Hold that damn title. Shoot. Give me 1 second. I had it. I don't know where the hell it's going. Oh! I got it. 1 second. So, also, Pride of Kent State University. Brendan, you may know him from your favorite things, one of your favorite things, WWE. I know him as the sandwich from Twisted Melts that has fried pierogies, bacon, and all that stuff on it that made me gain 60 pounds in 3 months. One Mr. Dolph Ziggler was born July 27th, 1980 in Cleveland, Ohio.
He was Nick Namath back then, though.
What?
He was Nick Namath back then, though.
Well, yeah, but I said, you may know him from WWE.
Yeah.
And I said, and as my favorite sandwich, Dolph Ziggler.
Heck yeah, man. Like you said, Pride of Kent State, one of the best wrestlers to ever come through there. Can't argue with that. You got quite a few. I'm jealous, man. You got all these guys sharing a birthday with you. You know who I got?
Who's that?
Tupac and Phil Mickelson.
I mean, I got Jordan Spieth and I don't know who put it up against Tupac. There might be somebody.
It's hard. It's if you talking rap game, it might be hard to put somebody against Tupac, but I'm sure you can find somebody. I mean, you got 10 of them right there. Ed Orgeron goes up against Tupac.
Yeah, I mean, so who else is on here? Young Dolph.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Young Dolph. There's a rapper to go against Tupac. But nevertheless, now that we've got that kind of all signed, sealed, and delivered, where can they follow you, Ethan?
You can follow me on Twitter at eth.simpson I almost went straight to my email. I haven't done that in so long. You can follow me at ethSimpsonCGOD on Twitter. You can follow me at ethSimpson on Instagram. You can follow my main man Brendan at
BWardCLE on Twitter. On Instagram at B.Ward52 because I still haven't changed it in over a year, even though I've been talking about it. Do not forget to follow the podcast. Come on, guys. Let's get it up there. I know, like I said, we get the counts. We know what's going on. Podcast given right there. See? Boom. Look, the coaching that started before this episode, look at that coming into full effect. Got it right there. At Podcast Given on Twitter. Instagram, at Any Given Podcast. It's literally our name. Just start typing it out. You'll see Ethan's beautiful logo from right there in the middle. That's all the profile pictures. You can't miss it. Facebook.com/AnyGivenPodcast. Just type that shit in there. It'll pull up. And then do not forget, subscribe to the YouTube. Shit, you get our followers up, subscribers up on YouTube. We start making money out of this, man. Who knows the product we can go? We're already having fun with it, man. like, you know what I'm saying? Imagine if we're making money and having fun. Imagine what we could bring to you guys. Just come on, support us a little bit. That's what you want to do.
And when that comes in, that brings us better content. That gets us better equipment to work with. That gets us more money to make more products like T-shirts, maybe hats. Who knows? We could work these things out. We just need the help of you guys, the supporters.
I can't wait till we have enough followers to be able to sell AGP hats. I'm just not spending the money to go into it yet. Like, we both love hats. So like, to get an AGP hat is just something I'm so much looking forward to. But you guys got to help us out to do it, and we appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. If you follow us, you know we're Ethan's family business is the Kent Stage. They open on Friday with Steve Earle and the Dukes live in town. It's gonna be a fun night. I don't know if I'll be out there or what'll be the case. I still got to talk to the boss man on that one to see what's going on, if I'm needed or anything. I'm going to offer my help. But just kind of very excited for you guys for that as well, especially March 12th or something of last year to July 30th of this year. Closed due to pandemic and now ongoing construction to just make sure that place looks beautiful. Glad to see him back on July 30th.
Absolutely. I'm excited to get this Kent Stage back. And you know what? I just want to say one last thing before we head out. Any Given Podcast is made possible thanks to viewers like you. Thank you.
Thank you.
PBS. PBS. Or I guess I still do it, but. All right. Anything else, Brendan?
I believe that's all I got for him. Thank you guys for tuning in to Any Given Podcast. You guys have a wonderful and fantastic rest of your week.
God bless. Stay blessed.